Okay, so at this point, you can actually tell the issues between the two houses. The atmospheres are completely different and disconnected between the two houses. One house is real happy, and the other house is really giving you shack vibes. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives Season 9, Episode 5. Listen, it's a roller coaster ride. Over there at Jackie's house, ain't no fun at that house. I wouldn't even want to be a part of that. Over there is completely something totally different. I don't know what that's all about. Everything is really, really cool up at the other house. It seems whenever Jackie and them go up to that house, they seem to like fit right in. But down there at the other house, listen, we're gonna talk about it. Let's start right here with Malaysia and Jackie though. Malaysia and Jackie, you know, when we left off, you know how they do the whole to be continued, like they do a cliffhanger every week. And uh, the whole situation was really Malaysia just got tired of fighting with it and she was ready to forgive Jackie. That's all it is. Because there's some people with the situation that went down, some people would have never been able to forgive Jackie. They wouldn't have. They would have never done, especially when it starts. See, when you start to, you can screw around with me as much as you want. But when you start playing around with my kids, and saying things about my kids and saying things about my mama and you know, there's always a line that's too far. Those rumors that Jackie, what you cleared up is that you didn't start the rumor, yet you spreaded the rumor. Either way, that ain't nothing that your friend, nobody close friend like you were supposed to be with Malaysia would do. And I'm pretty sure if I had a friend that spread it rumors. I don't care if you didn't start it. Spread it rumors about me and my children, my living situation, whatever, whether it's true or non-true. I don't think we'd be being friends. There wouldn't be no conversation to be had. I just wouldn't be messing with you, period. It'd just be over. Go on about your business. Keep talking. Whoever you was talking to, go be friends with them. But that ain't Malaysia. Malaysia's a little soft, you know. She getting her feelings. And even in her confessionals that they're playing, you can still see she's still saying Jackie started those rumors. She still feel a way about it, but she values the friendship. So ain't nothing wrong with that. So it ain't about me. It's about Malaysia and Jackie. But I know there's other people out there that wouldn't forgive Jackie. Would have busted her in her mouth. Because to have done it and then amp up like she did at the roller rink, yeah, right, Jackie. Anyway, but however, they got it together and it got squashed and it's over. It's over. So now, up at the house, I think at this point, Jackie actually kind of, like, immediately regrets the fact that she even has her own house down there. Because down in her house, there's a dark cloud over it. And really, she don't want to be bothered with Jen for real. And she don't want to be bothered with OG. Now, she thought she wanted to be bothered with OG, but OG is walk around with negativity surrounding her. So Jackie really don't even want to be bothered with Jen or OG at this point. And she would rather be up at the house with the other girls, and you can see it. But anyway, so that's that. So Ania and Noria came up to the house, and Shawnee took her around and showed them the house. And they actually got a chance to talk with Shawnee, and they explained the whole thing, that whole revelation that they came up with OG about her childhood trauma and all of that stuff. And when they did that, I think Shawnee started to see things. It kind of opened up the door to what may be going on and the fact that there is some hope with it. And you could tell Shawnee was kind of hopeful that they could get things back on track with OG. And I said, yeah, maybe. So, I even fell into the trap there for a minute. I was like, maybe they're going to be able to move on past this and clear some of this stuff up. I don't think her and Evelyn will ever be good. I don't think her and Evelyn will ever be good. But everybody else, I think, it could be cool. Anyway. So then they talk about old Nia and how She used to date Phoebe's dude. That's what happened. This guy that Phoebe's with, she used to date him. Um, from 2017 up until like the previous summer. So there's like some time in there that they was messing around and carrying on. Uh, Jackie said in her confessional, "Oh well, I know it's gonna start with me and Phoebe." And at first I said, if Nia and if Nia and the guy was messing and I had to do with Phoebe, why I got to do with you? But then after I really thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, that's right. You did bring her into the circle. Like, why did you bring her into the circle? Was that a jab at Phoebe? Because you and Phoebe don't get along very much. So, yeah, maybe that will kick things off some more with you and Phoebe, Jackie. I don't know. But there ended up being a little FaceTime later on. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Well, no, let's talk about it now. Phoebe got FaceTimed and Shawnee and Evelyn was talking to her. And she said, oh, no, 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 no. That girl there, she's a stalker. So she's a stalker since she has reached out to me on Instagram. I don't know her. I don't know this girl. So the girl could walk up on me. I don't know her. She said, but she was sending me porn videos and just weird shit and just like trying to get up by me. She's like, why is she even there? And then she said something that made me laugh when she said, and what is the big deal? So she wants to be there to let y'all know, oh, she messed with Lance. Honey, everybody fuck Lance. Ain't no big deal. We all had him. A million people done had him. A billion people done had him. I said, oh. So, girl, for you to even say that, I guess it ain't no problem, honey. He's a hoe. You understand it. You know it. And you shouldn't be able to be bothered by that. So that's all a wash, right? But we're going to see. But let me ask. We're going to stop this review, and I'm just going to ask y'all a question. Y'all put it in them comments. Could you literally mess with a guy and be really thinking about marrying a guy that when you speak of your dude, you say, oh, girl, everybody done had him? I'm going to answer for me. I've already told y'all before, I am a very, very selfish lover. I do not share. I'm not part of the threesome crew, the foursome crew, the orgy crew. None of them crews. Swinging. I can't do none of that. It just ain't in my makeup to do. What's mine's is mine's is mine's. I ain't sharing no mate. Not on purpose. Now, have I shared a mate in the past? Yes. But I didn't know. And once I found out, then that was the end of that. You know, and then, of course, it was the end of that little situation. But, I can't share a mate on purpose. No. Tell you all the time, honey. My very favorite song by Tony Braxton is pretty much like a B selection. It was never actually released as a single, but the song is called Selfish. It's by Tony Braxton. Look it up. It's a fantastic song. It is my favorite song ever recorded by Tony Braxton. Love the song to death, but that is me up and down, honey. I'm selfish. I don't want to share you with anybody else. Loving you, touching you, kissing you. You could call me selfish. That is me. Like, I couldn't have wrote it better myself. Sharing no mate with nobody. That's crazy. So, y'all put it in the comments. Could you literally really fathom? Are you real? And I don't find that to be insecure. I don't want nobody that been ran through like that. Even if they ain't doing it no more. Shit, you ain't doing it because you tired. The fuck? But would you be comfortable with a guy who's had that many mates that's what you say about him? Like, oh, everybody had him. I'm just interested to see. Leave it down there. Would you be comfortable or no? I'm not. Anyway, let's go back to what we're doing, honey. Boom, 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 bam, I'm back, honey. Okay, so Nuria, she, before we get to that, while they were still at the house, Kristen actually shared that her grandmother was actually had some colorism issues, and that she had them all the way up until Kristen was born. Her grandmother had an issue with she was a lighter skinned woman, and she had an issue with dark skinned women. So that blows me. Like it really does. That whole and it's weird, and it's not where my mind goes all the time. But I have had a situation with a family member who I was around all the time, and I never realized that they actually were like that. But they actually are like that. And when it hit me that they were like that, it's bothersome, and I think it's strange. Like it's weird. It's very weird. And the colorism thing, it does run deep with some people. I mean, literally, this person it's a family member of mine, and they are like that. It's even with their own children. With their own children, she's what we would call red bone, but she got children, and some of her children have her complexion, and she got a child that's a little darker in complexion. And in the summertime, she makes comments about how dark his skin, him and the father, how dark their skin gets. And I never really used to pay it any attention. And then one day I was like, wait a minute. And I think I didn't pay it any attention because she's saying it, and that's her family. I'm paying her ass no attention. But when she said something about me and one of my kids one day, is when it struck me. And then you know how you like hindsight is 2020. I was like, wait a minute, this whore been saying this dumb shit all along. And I was like, that's weird. But again, I always viewed it like that's her problem. You got issues. And that's not, ain't her only issue. So I just said, ooh, that's weird. But when you said that runs deep. For you to sit and say, oh, I'll be so glad when we get past the summertime so he can go back to his regular color. And you talking about your own child. Nobody should have to tell you that you got an issue. Anyway. But like I said, Kristen talked about her grandma. And her grandma literally said her grandmother had issues with people of a darker skin. How do you have issues with just... Never mind. Anyway, moving on. Nuria ain't feeling OG. When they went back down to the house, what ended up happening was they were talking and they were like, we met the other girls, and OG's like, oh, that's good, this, that, and the other, and they were like, yeah, they're really cool and everything like that. And we were talking and we talked about the whole thing, like, the stuff you had said about, when you were young, and, they were really concerned, and they, I think it might have kind of opened them up to understand some of what, may be the problem. And then the next thing you know, she told me, I don't want you all speaking for me because you don't really know me. And it was real nasty, like it was nasty. I mean, there's a way to say everything. But again, this is where we get into this thing about OG. Yes, OG is aggressive. And yes, OG does have a nasty disposition at times. But again, I mean, she's even free to feel like that. Don't talk about me when I ain't around, and you really don't know me like that. But again, when you're talking to a person that you don't know, that tone and the way she talked was a bit abrasive, but that's OG. That's her. Then we started to see later on, Jennifer is sick of OG, and she actually had a conversation with Jackie. I said, so it done got to a point now, people, they don't nobody want to be bothered with OG. You right back where you started at. It is getting to a point like we're 5 episodes in, and now y'all separated out, and the group that you with, they about sick of you, about ready for you to go home. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, okay. Then later on, then Nia was like, I ain't really down with her. She's real bossy and she talks to everybody, like she's telling everybody what to do. And I was like, And then they said she got like a different set of rules. Like she talking about us. She talking about our situation, but we can't talk about her situation because she kept bringing up the little stuff about Lance. I said, okay. So y'all trying to clear up the thing between OG and the other house. Y'all got to clear up the thing about OG and y'all's house. A mess. It was a whole mess. So anyway, the next day, Malaysia and Kristen decide to go up and talk to OG. Now they're, they don't even know that OG had an attitude about the fact that the other girls shared the stuff, but they're like, let's go. And then Kristen said, I'm more moral support and I'll come in at some point, but I'll let you do the talking since we already talked. To, to definitely not make her feel like she's being ambushed. But of course, she took the negative with it and she felt like she was being ambushed. But I'm going to say this before we even get into it. Malaysia, them shoes, ew. Ooh. I've seen that. I've seen that little trend trying to start a little while back of the shoes where the toes are outlined. That is it's something about it that just gives me the willies. I don't like it. It's horrible. It looks like animal feet, like paws is what it looks like. Like you got these shoes on that make you look like you got paws. I don't like that. That's horrible. How certain things make you feel a kind of way? Them shoes make me feel kind of a way. And every pair I've ever seen like that, I don't like them paw pumps. I ain't into that. That's horrible. Anyway, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all got to run it back and see them. Them paw pumps. I don't like that shit. Anyway, so they start talking. It's Malaysia. She's talking to her. She said, is there something that I've done, OG, to make you feel that type of way? Because I'm here to really fix it. If I've ever done anything to make you feel that way, or if I've ever said anything. And she got up from the table. And she's real dismissive. She got up from the table and they're like, is she crying? So Malaysia got up, went over to console her, and she says, can I hug you? OG. The hug was real, like she really didn't. She said, yeah, but the hug kind of felt like she really didn't. Let me take it back. The hug, at first, like she didn't know how to accept it. And I was saying, come on, let the wall down and break it and let's go. And she hugged her, and then she literally, as soon as she released her, she went left. She went left and she started going in and was like, you guys can't handle the backlash of what you started and this, that, and it was real venomous. And they were sitting around that table because Kristen had started tearing up at the fact that OG was crying. Hell, I even had said, I didn't start tearing up, but I was like, oh, wow, OG, okay. I said, she's getting it. It's coming. It's coming. The conversation is getting ready to come. Man, she went right back into that. And I ain't never going to forgive y'all. It is what it is. She said, I'm not going to agree to nothing you saying. I feel there's colorism in this group. It's a colorist issue in this group, the whole group. And I stand on it. I said, well, what? Well, what you mad? I understand why you're mad. If that's how you feel, then you're mad. Don't even accept any more of these talks. Just fuck it. It is what it is. At this point, what are you supposed to do? Jackie's sitting there like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Hell, Jen literally done stopped talking to her. And Jen was on her negative shit. OG's negative shit that outdone Jen's shit. Jen's like, either I'm ready to go or something. Something got to change up around here. Girl, what is going on, OG? Where is we going with this? Why are you even there? Well, I think she's there because she thought she was going to have fun with Jen and Jackie. But, girl, you making everybody miserable now. It's time to go home, I guess. Either switch up or it's time to go home because it don't seem like fun. Even when they were working out, she's bossing them around. And I don't think that really, that's just her, though. That's, she's a football player, so I didn't take too much offense to the bossing around and wanting them to be serious. But I did notice, and they pointed that out when Jen was talking to her, she didn't give a shit about what Jen was talking about. And again, that's just personality stuff. Everybody knows somebody like that. And that ain't no big deal. I ain't gonna pick on her about that. There's people that are like that. They're narcissistic and they talk about what they talk about. And when you talk, and they don't even care to hear it, really. And I know people like that in all different ages. All different ages. I literally have a friend that is literally, she's in her 80s. And when you talk to her, all you do is put it on. I be sewing and everything else. I let her talk. I put it on speaker, sit it down, and I go to doing whatever I'm doing, cooking, sewing, talking to somebody else, whatever, because she just wants to hear her stuff. She literally is not concerned with anything that you're saying other than when she asks you a question. And generally, when she asks you a question, when she stops for a minute and asks you a question, she tells you what the answer is. But child, that's just her. That's who she is. I don't pay her ass no attention. But that's kind of what I did notice about OG. I was like, "Ooh, girl, that one-sided conversation, child." That's why a lot of people like that. Well, with me, because again, I accept you how you come, and that's friendships. You don't hate your friends for who they are. You just take them on. You love them where they at, and when whatever it is about them that irritates you, if you can't deal with it no more, you walk away from the friendship and leave it alone. The hell, ain't no need to fall out. You ain't no need to try to change them. If I can't take whatever it is that irritates me about you, if it gets to a point where it irritates me that bad, we ain't got to fall out. We ain't got to fall out. That's what's called outgrowing a friendship. You ain't got to fall out, but you can always get your purse and walk the fuck away. But it ain't got to be no blow up. All right, ain't no thing. No big point of contention. I just don't want to deal with that bullshit no more. And I'm done with it. And then you don't. Y'all ain't got to fall out. But I ain't got to deal either. You can take your blocks and go home anytime you get ready. Period. Anyway, so this is where we are. OG's at the point of going in. Everybody's looking shocked, like what the hell just happened and where we at right now. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week and see what she finishes saying. I don't know. Are the girls going to ask her to go home? Seems like it's time for her to go, though, don't it? Talk to y'all later. www.chestrésor.com. Ooh.